Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in the office taking care of business. We have the Rolex 24-hour race happening this weekend. The racing actually starts today. They do some of their preliminary stuff, pre-race stuff, whatever, starts today. So at some point we'll start hearing those engines, and then you'll just hear those engines solid through Sunday. People camp out in the middle of the track. They bring their RVs, and it becomes quite the scene. People basically just get shit-faced drunk and watch racing. Who knows if any of them even actually watch it. But that's what's going on here. Let's philosophize a little bit upon liberalism. There's two different types of liberals that I've noticed. Now, we could identify the different waves of liberalism, because what liberalism was back in the 1940s is different than what liberalism ended up being in the 1960s with the hippies. And then that's slightly different than what liberalism evolved into in the 90s. And then it's different than what liberalism is today in 2024. So today in 2024, with this new wave of liberalism, it's much different than the liberalism that I believed in 30 years ago when I was in my early 20s. There seems to be two different types of them. There's the rich liberal elite, and then there's the radical progressive. So the radical progressive, those are the Antifa. Those are the crust punks. Those dirty, homeless punk rockers full of scabies, and they're always on drugs. And there's a lot of different types of people in that radical realm. They're not all criminal types, although they do have a lot of low-life criminal types. But these are the types that riot. These are the types that burn down courthouses and police stations and turn over cop cars as a response to videos they see. That's what was frustrating to me, at least, about the George Floyd thing. See, we had Rodney King, that was my generation, 1992. They rioted in LA over Rodney King, but only after the verdict. It wasn't a riot over the video. They played the video 100 times a day of Rodney King getting beat with every bone broken by these cops, and it didn't look good. It was a terrible looking beating. Nobody rioted because of a video. Nobody. They rioted because all the cops were let free. They weren't convicted. Nobody was guilty. So people went nuts. That's where the term no justice, no peace actually makes sense, because there wasn't justice. So then people went nuts. And I'm not justifying the riots. I think property crimes are useless. Riots are useless. They never work. The riots never work. But I understood it. I did not understand the George Floyd bullshit, and it just felt like a bunch of out of control, overly emotional, little raging brats. You weren't waiting for justice to be done. You're screaming no justice, no peace. You have to wait for justice to be done before you can determine that justice has failed. They didn't even have the court case yet, and you guys are already rioting. But these are the types. And they absolutely want anarchy. They promote anarchy. They may have anarchy patches on their ratty looking clothes, or they may have an anarchy tattoo, a cute little anarchy tattoo on that chick you just started dating, which is radical progressive. And they adopt bohemianism as a philosophy, and that doesn't seem to have ever worked anywhere. These bohemian utopias, or shantytowns, is what it is. And you want to know what a bohemian utopia is? It's a shantytown. And they have them. They have that one in Copenhagen, Denmark. I forget what it's called. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. You can find plenty of documentaries on it. It's just a shantytown with no building codes. Just some shithole. Open air drug market, not safe. They got one in Imperial Valley out in the desert in California, another bohemian utopia. It's been there since the 70s, just a shanty town. But those types love it. And those types of progressives, they want to transform society into a shanty town, into that kind of lawless world. Now, the other type of liberal are the liberal elite. And I'm also very familiar with them because I have those types in my family. And liberal elite went to good colleges, really good colleges, Berkeley, those types of schools. And they hold many of the same kind of anti-establishment, rebellious views as the radical progressives, but this is where they change. They're far more authoritarian. And they don't really believe in the extreme individualism that the radical progressive believes in. The radical progressive holds their individualism to their core value. So much so to where they paint themselves as victims and they look at their individualism as it becomes a form of oppression. No, the liberal elite, they believe in authoritarian, kind of a homogenistic narrative that everyone should follow. And if you're not like us, you should be eradicated from society. You should be gotten rid of. If you didn't get the vaccine, get rid of them. Put them in jail, put them in a camp, kill them. If you're a Trump supporter, put them in a camp, re-educate them, kill them. If you're a racist, put them in a camp, re-educate them, kill them. If you're a man and you believe in the patriarchy, emasculate them, re-educate them, get rid of them. And there's this weird kind of dictatorship that seems to be evolving amongst the liberal elite, where that's what they want. They want a brutal, tyrannical dictatorship. That's what they want to transform America into. And it seems that the two different types of liberals are rather conflicting, because how could you have one group of people that are anarchic shantytown dwellers that hate cops and want to live like hedonist, weirdos, and then another group that all want to read the same books, all want to watch the same movies, all want to have the same narrative in everything that's put out on the internet. They all want to live in this homogenous kind of milquetoast world where nothing else can get in, no diversity of thought, nothing else, only their world can exist. And they'll enforce that brutally. We're seeing some of this stuff play out in Canada and Australia and Europe as well. I mean, this isn't just America. So I've been fascinated by liberals, studying them like Jane Goodall through the bushes, taking notes, and noticing these two types of creature. I think that this division amongst liberals is getting worse, and this may be the reason why they lose the election in 24. I do predict, and I'm terrible at these predictions. Anybody who knows me knows this. I'm not right. I'm never right on my predictions. But I hope I'm right this time. Maybe this will be the first time. I just think that this riff is going to destroy their chances of getting the White House. Because I'm seeing them fight against each other, and they'll crumble. Now, we can do another video some other time about the GOP, about the Republicans. Maybe they have a similar dynamic. We're just talking about liberals today, though. Food for thought.